I'm Roger Urbaniak with Rogers Outdoor Channel. I've spent well over 50 years driving the back roads of Washington State in pursuit of just different outdoor hobbies that I have. And I have really enjoyed the scenery that I've seen along the way, and I just take some of these trips on a regular basis. Now, today we're going to do a little video on me kind of leading you through a tour of the southeast corner of Washington State, and kind of have you look through my eyes on what I think some of the really must-see attractions are. I mean, a good portion of this trip is highlighted on scenic tours of Washington State, but I think that I've picked up probably a few spots in here that are off from the regular tour guide notes that people have, that you might want to take a little detour of your own driving trip and make sure that you pick up some of these things. So the whole purpose of this video is to get you to take a trip to a certain part of the state, and then by kind of looking through the videos that I am presenting to make sure that you hit all the really neat highlights that are there. You're going to find some of your own, and you're going to have different stops that you're going to make that you're going to say, well, hey, you forgot this or didn't do that as you're driving through. But this will give you some of the really basic things that you're going to want to see while you're taking the trips around the state. Each one of my videos has a little companion, what I call companion articles, where you can download a map that shows the trip that I'm taking on this particular time. It'll show the highlights that I'm talking about in this video, so you don't really have to take notes as I'm talking. And it'll also show you, give you some, you may also like articles that talk in detail about some of the sites that you will be seeing, or some of the opportunities of things that you can do along the way. So today's trip, again, is through the southeast corner of the state. I'm going to, rather than driving all the way from Seattle, I'm just going to assume that we're going to start partway over in eastern Washington, just a little south of Yakima, and start on Highway 84, heading south, and you basically come to a little detour where you see the town of Toppenish as that you come to just off the off from 84 on 197. Drive through the town. It is a really cool little town that where they have murals on practically, it's an old town, a lot of Native Americans and Spanish-speaking people that live there, so that the structures around it are not spectacular. But the downtown area, they went through and they painted murals on the sides of all the buildings in there. And not all the buildings, but probably there's 75, 80 at last count. And they're really cool Western scenes. I mean, this has been written up in national magazines, etc. Take your camera along, take a picture of how good the artwork is here. They have a Mural a Day Society that paints one of these murals on the side of the building in a day. Just a whole crew of guys go out and just has a Western scene that they want to put on the side of these buildings. I mean, the area also has other features. You'll drive by hops fields, where a lot of the area has these roadside stands where a lot of the fruits and vegetables that are grown there are marketed by the Native Americans, etc. And there's a casino near Toppenish, also the Yakima tribe. That's a worthwhile detour. But anyway, that's your starting point. And as you start heading south and east on 84, the first thing you come to, there's a little gas station called the Teapot Dome. It's a historic national, gas station that you'll want to take a picture of it. Shaped in like a teapot, and kind of reflected some political overtones years ago. Not too far from it, you'll come to the Foremost Dairy off to the south side of the road, and they give free tours of their dairy. They'll give you samples of some of their cheeses and that and some of the other products that they make. Worthwhile little tour. Again, not too far away, if you keep your eyes open in the fall, you'll see where they offer trips through a corn maze. And we've taken them, and they're really cool. You have the opportunity not just to walk through the maze, but they've got it set up to really entertain primarily children, where they have hot dog roasts, and you get to ride on the back of a truck instead of an old-fashioned hay ride, but it's got hay bales on it, and kind of get into the Christmas spirit by doing the corn maze. So you go a little further east, and you come to you'll see signs to the Hanford nuclear site, and they have been, whether they do right now with COVID or not, they discontinued the tours for a while, but they used to offer tours through the Hanford site that you can sign up for, and I've talked to several people that say that, they're really worthwhile. And the next thing you come to, you basically come to the Tri-Cities, and you cross across the Snake River, take some photographs of that. And I'm not going to give you all of the individual little highways that I'm taking from here, but if you look to the map that I have attached that shows the route that I'm taking, you're going to see things of interest like Walla Walla, where not only do they have the Whitman College, very famous college. Some of our Supreme Court justices and just famous people have gone to the school, and as well as farm products in the area, etc. That it's a nice little tour through the town. They've got just different things to look at. Not too far from that is Wallula Gap. Wallula Gap is where when they used to have the old-fashioned many years ago, the historical floods out of Lake Missoula that are responsible for creating the landscape in Washington. By washing, they at one time they had floods that would go across the center part of Washington that would that carried, when the ice dam busted, it carried more water for about a 4 to 5 day period than all the rivers in the world put together. And some of the changes to our landscape are documented in the exhibits that they have set up at the visitor center near Wallula Gap. You'll also go to little towns like Starbuck, not related to the Starbuck plants, but just kind of seeing that we have our own Starbuck in the state of Washington. Maybe that's where the name came from for our coffee making people. We go to little towns like Pomeroy, just kind of the flavor of these little western towns, I guess, is where the farmers and the ranchers kind of bring their product and start them on the marketing trend. And then I kind of usually continue south and east along the Snake River, and I come to a place called Central Ferry, which used to have a really cool state park set up where you could camp, and we used to take our camper van over there. And the budget shortage a few years ago closed the park. You can still kind of walk in there, but you just can't camp in it anymore. And we just got the biggest kick out of camping there. In fact, that was that area down in the southeast corner there is where I love to pheasant hunt. I would go on these senior pheasant hunts in the fall, usually about September 22nd to the 26th or something. They have 3 or 4 days where if you're over 65, they let you pheasant hunt for 2 days before the big crowds get in there. And I'd go even without a dog and go to a couple areas that I found from through the Corps of Engineers as they built dams on the Snake River. Through mitigation, they were required to have some of these to compensate for flooding some of the lands that used to have wildlife on it. They opened up hunting areas, and they would take and enhance these areas a little bit by maybe planting little plots of grain to help attract birds and animals from the hillsides, neighboring hillsides, to come down and feed there, and give hunters, and they send us maps. I mean, I've written the Corps of Engineers. They send me just a whole packet of maps on about 6 or 7 sites that they have that are these mitigation sites. Definitely worth seeing what it's like on the Snake River. I mean, like Rice Bar and Willow Bar, for example, are just really scenic places to, especially in the fall when they, a lot of the colors starting to turn, etc. You'll see just massive red areas along the thing, and just to see the amount of, the bird flights that go up and down that area is really interesting. Then I kind of turn north from here and maybe head up not too far away to Lewiston and Clarkston. The towns were kind of named obviously against Lewis, to commemorate Lewis and Clark. That's an area that they traveled through on their journey to, the coast. And I usually like to, whenever I see a visitor center that's talks about the Lewis and Clark expedition, I like to stop. They're all worthwhile, a very interesting history as I'm going through. So when I head north from there, there's a little detour that you can take when you get 30, 40 miles north, that kind of on your way to Othello, you'll see a Palouse Falls sign. And I can't remember you'll have to look this one up on the map or look at my map as far as where it's located. But, I mean, out in the middle of this sagebrush and desert, you see this huge waterfalls, and it's really cool. I mean, the first time my wife says, "Hey, you got to see that." I've seen pictures on the internet, etc., that it's a cool place. I said, "Well, I'll come in. I hunt and I fish there, and it can't be that cool because I've never seen it." But it was. I missed it, so I don't want you to miss it. Take the detour. Go see Palouse Falls. Another area that we see is, we usually stop over in Othello. I pick some wild asparagus, usually in May, first part of May, real close to Othello, right along the highway. It grows right along the fence lines and water courses, the irrigation ditches. But if I go to Othello in like March, they have a little event where they, in your festivals and fairs article that you'll see attached to this, you'll see where they talk about they have a Sandhill Crane Festival, and they set aside the high school to hold this festival, and they talk about the Sandhill cranes, and then they have these little lecture rooms that can talk about other outdoor topics. In fact, I think the Wallula Gap and the Lake Missoula flooding was where I first got introduced to that whole sequence, was at that particular exhibit. From here, once I've done that, we usually kind of head up north through and go up near Spokane. We used to take our camper van up there and camp near Spokane Falls. They had a nice state park, just kind of slightly north and east of Spokane, just right along the Spokane River, and really scenic, RV park or state park to camp at. But from there, we just kind of say, okay, it's time to head home, and we're kind of tuckered out a little bit, but if we got a little energy left and a little time to take it, we might take a detour and go north and see Grand Coulee Dam. I mean, just you go there, they don't have good accommodations on any kind of a holiday situation for people to stay overnight very often. We were lucky to have our camper van, so we could make do. But the motels book up early for during the summertime, especially because what they do at the dam is they have a laser light show that they show on the face of the dam as it gets dusk every night, and it's really a neat thing. We went there on the 4th of July one year, and not only saw the laser light display, but also their fireworks display not too far, maybe a few miles south of that. And again, really, fun stuff to see. So from there, you're driving through wheat country and sagebrush country, and I encourage you to take your time, get out of the car as often as you can, stop for an ice cream cone or a picnic along the way. Make sure you take a camera along and journal your vacation, and really make it a special outing, But if you relax and say, hey, this is a vacation, I'm not driving 85 miles an hour just to get somewhere. I'm here to see the sights and to, just get out of the car and kind of feel what this part of the country looks like and that sort of thing, and you'll probably really enjoy this tour. So hope you like it. If you happen to pass me along the way, don't forget to wave.